So like, doesn't matter where you're posting, what platform. If you keep it on TikTok, then it just lives on TikTok and you're like, wow, I can't really reuse it, but if you save it, if you download it and you save it to a folder in CinchShare, now you can post it in YouTube. You can post it to other places, not just TikTok, but you can post it right back in TikTok.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I am here with one of my most favorite people, Jennifer Johnson, founder, CEO of CinchShare. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me, Becky. I always love being here.
Oh my gosh. I always love our conversations. And in typical fashion, before we click record, we already have like a hot discussion on what's working on social, what's not. So we're going to bring that into this episode for you. But if somebody has been living under a rock and does not know what CinchShare is or is not using it, tell us a little bit about CinchShare, how it came about, and maybe even a little around your vision and how it has continued to change and evolve over time.
Okay, well, let's see here. CinchShare is 11 years old. I created it back in 2014 when I found a need to schedule content. The more I posted, the more sales I made. So I needed to have content going throughout the day. I'm a mom, I homeschool, and I can't stay behind the computer all day. So that's kind of where the idea of CinchShare came about as a social scheduler for Facebook. It is really easy to use. It is really seriously so simple. And so that's kind of what our users know us for, is a really easy to use social scheduler for social sellers, direct sellers, network marketers, small business. And over the years, we've grown and we've added new platforms and new places where you can reach people on social. We just released scheduling to TikTok and YouTube this past week. So that's been really exciting. We now have 8 platforms we connect to. And our vision is just to keep growing and creating features that help our users save time with all their social so they can, have time for their life, have time for their family, and have the ability to actually grow their business.
I love this so much. And I mean, I've been a user of CinchShare since like back in the day when it was scheduling parties and events. Like, I mean, it was like the original version. I can't believe it's 11. That feels like I'm aging myself a little bit here. But one thing that I absolutely love, I mean, not only do we use it here at Modern Direct Seller, it's like, CinchShare is an amazing sponsor for our podcast. And it's a browser window that's always open on my computer. I'm always doing things in CinchShare. But I think one thing that I love about you and your vision and the CinchShare platform is that it really does just keep getting better and better and better. So there's new platforms, there's new types of posting, like as stories have evolved and reels have evolved, you've been able to add that in, and you kind of just like don't stop evolving and growing. And I have to say too, you don't stop growing and evolving, and the price still remains very, very reasonable. So thank you for serving our industry so well and giving us this incredible tool. But give us an update. Let's talk about some of the new features of CinchShare, because some people may have used it like back in the day just for party scheduling, and now maybe they're running their own small business, or maybe they're not even hanging out on Facebook anymore and they're using other platforms. So we got the keyboard. I want to talk about that. We got YouTube, TikTok, we got reminders, notes. Let's start with the keyboard, because I think that's one of the newest features that I'm so, so excited about. Tell us a little bit about the keyboard and how that works.
Yeah, so the keyboard is the custom keyboard that's on your mobile phone, and
Yeah.
it's the CinchShare keyboard that you install. And then anywhere you're typing, if you are commenting on a Facebook post, or if you're in a direct message with somebody, with a customer, or you're wanting to text somebody something and you already have your information saved and stored in CinchShare, everything is at your fingertips on your keyboard. So you can have it in the app and you can schedule it,
Mm-hmm.
but having it at your keyboard means that you can just send like those links that people ask for, or if they're asking for like, can you tell me more about this product or something, and you already have those descriptions created, you can just with one tap with your keyboard send all that information, and you don't have to go, into other apps for it. You can just literally pull up your keyboard and push it through, and then you can go back to your regular keyboard if you want. And so it's kind of like I said, all your content right at your fingertips, so you can You can post it on social, you can use it in comments or DMs and really everywhere. Anywhere that you are having conversations or needing to share information, you can do so quickly with the mobile keyboard. It has been a great new feature. We've had a lot of feedback from it and people are
Yeah.
loving it. And so we're really excited about it.
I'm excited about it. I mean, all of the years and years of content that I've created, that I've organized in folders in CinchShare, now I just have right there. And you and I were chatting before we clicked record just around how on certain platforms, you don't need fancy polished graphics. Sometimes you're just trying to post some simple kind of, text-based post and having that right there on your fingertips, right? I mean, it's so, so helpful. And I mean, you can use the images there too, but I've been using it for messages that I'm sending to multiple people over and over. Like, here's where you go to get this training. Here's the link for it. I've used it for hashtags. Like, this is my bundle of hashtags that I have saved right here on my keyboard. I feel like there's so, so many use cases. If you're doing host coaching, if you're having conversations with someone, if you're following up with a message, just having it right there, or even just simple engagement, right? Like, we all are trying to engage more on social, and having a couple of quick responses that you typically comment as you're scrolling or responding to stories right there on your fingertips. It is so, so cool. I love it.
Yeah, it is so fast. It is so quick to just get all your content everywhere. And then it's really easy to, like you said, any link that you have, any product information, you can share it,
Yeah.
you can save it, and then you can have it so you can put it in your post too if you want to schedule it. And then if you don't, if you just want to post on the fly, it's just right there and you can just push it through. It's really quick and easy.
So good. Okay, let's talk about the newest platform. So I feel like a lot of people think of CinchShare as just like the Facebook scheduler tool, but how many platforms did you say? Is there eight now?
We connect to 8 platforms. So with CinchShare, you can schedule your Facebook posts, you can
Yep.
schedule your Instagram, and you can schedule, let's see here, TikTok, and you can schedule YouTube, you can schedule LinkedIn, Pinterest, X, and Threads is the
Oh my
other
gosh.
one.
So many. So many. Well, and I love that YouTube and TikTok are new additions to CinchShare's functionality because both those platforms have really great organic reach. And if you're already creating content on these other platforms, like you might as well just go ahead and expand, start adding YouTube shorts, start posting to TikTok. So I'm really excited about that because those are two platforms we're already on, but we are having to go and post that content manually or schedule it within their scheduling tool. So being able to schedule it all in one place, it's just dreamy. It is so,
Yes.
so exciting.
And you can really you can repurpose anything. So like if you take a reel on Instagram, if you have that, you can then, go post that on YouTube. You can put it on
Yeah.
TikTok. You can take that same piece of content and you don't even have to change it. You can just put it on those other platforms. And sometimes we'll have like a reel on Instagram that maybe gets like a few hundred views and then you post it on YouTube Shorts and it has like 11,000 views. So it completely different views based on the platform. And so just testing it out, but also getting more mileage out of your content now is super easy because you can schedule it all at once to go to multiple platforms. You can do that. I don't do that. I schedule like individually, but I do repurpose. And so like it's just a selection box. And now all of a sudden your post is going to YouTube. And we've been testing it out. We've been scheduling all of our TikToks, all of our YouTubes for the last several weeks. And then we released it last week for everybody and are hearing good things. There's lots of people who actually have been really looking forward to expanding to those platforms since
Yeah.
they're having trouble with Facebook. And so, reaching more people, getting more reach, getting more eyes on their content has been, a great thing. And I think collectively between YouTube and TikTok, I think there's over 3 billion users, I think. Like there's a
Oh
lot
my
of
God.
people to get your eyes and, your content in front of a
Yeah.
lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, well, I love what you said there just around like knowing that you want to expand to other platforms. But let's be real, like we're all busy. Nobody here is probably a full-time social media manager, right? And so I've had so many conversations with direct sellers that are like, well, I've really built on Facebook and I've kind of dabbled with Instagram, but I'd really love to try to go explore, YouTube or TikTok or some of these other places. But I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to go create content in all these different places. So this is a total shortcut to be able to start building that presence. And like you said, testing things because some things do really, really well in one place and then tank in the other. And there's like basically no rhyme or reason to it. I feel like you're
Right.
like, I don't know why that one has. a million views and that one has seven.
And
Like,
sometimes that happens on the same platform too. Like you
yeah,
can take one post, post it, on Instagram and it doesn't get very good views. And then you post it again the next week and it gets a great view. So sometimes it is the algorithm too and timing. And there's a whole lot of things that we don't know that goes on into obviously getting our content seen. But what's really cool
yeah,
about CinchShare is that no matter what content you're posting anywhere, you can save it in CinchShare in folders. There's unlimited storage, so you can save it there, and then it's just right there in your folder. So you're like, okay, here's my TikTok I did. I downloaded it, saved it to a folder in CinchShare, and now I just have it. So I can easily reschedule it if I want to in the future, or I can schedule it over to Reels, or I can schedule it to YouTube, and you can get just really easily by having it saved all in your CinchShare folders. So
yeah.
that's a really nice feature.
I mean, I love that you mentioned that too. So, unlimited storage. And so, even if you're initially creating a reel, let's say on Instagram, if you're downloading it from Instagram, the best place to go upload it before you take it to any other platform is to upload it to SynShare because then
Yeah.
it lives in that folder and you have it, even if it's not organized in a folder, you have it in your history as well. And you can sort your history to kind of look at what platform and what you've posted. We do that all the time. We're constantly looking back at what we've posted through SynShare so we can take that, we can recycle it, we can reuse it. And I think that that's huge because so often we're just like creating things on the fly. But if you can remember, even if you're creating again within TikTok or within Instagram or whatever app you choose, keeping that content, downloading it, and putting it back into SynShare specifically for that video or reels inside the platform, then
Right.
you can just take that and you can reuse it a million times over. So it's just getting it there and getting into the habit of putting it into SynShare. So everything is there waiting for you in one spot.
Right. That's what
I
I
love
do.
that.
So like doesn't matter where you're posting, what platform. If you keep it on TikTok, then it just lives on TikTok and you're like, wow, I can't really
Yeah.
reuse it. But if you save it, if you download it and you save it to a folder in SendShare, now you can post it in YouTube. You can post it to other places, not just TikTok, but you can post it right back in TikTok.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the great things too about with SendShare, every single thing that you schedule has stayed in your history. So you have a history that you can like filter. You can filter by network, you can filter by keyword, and you can find your past posts from like last year. You can be like, I want to see what I posted last March
Yeah.
and pull them up and then be like, wow, that's some great content. I want to reuse it, and you just go ahead and schedule it out. And it takes 2 seconds because you've already created it. So
Yeah.
that's another key thing that, kind of important for direct sellers and small business owners is that every piece of content you create should not be one and done. Like you should be getting
Mhm.
mileage out of that. Like it's what you said was good, that sharing
Yeah.
that information was good. So share it again next week, share it again tomorrow, share it again on a different platform, share it again multiple times because algorithms, as we know, barely anybody sees it, less than 2%. So you've got to post it again and again and again. And oftentimes we're repeating ourselves anyways, because that's what we're doing. Like if we had a brick and mortar shop, and we had customers coming in and somebody asked us a question, we would answer them. And if somebody else asked us a question, we'd answer the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you keep
Yeah.
repeating yourselves over and over because you're trying to connect with customers. And then online, it's just slightly different. But having a place that all of your content you have history of, you can easily see, and that you can just reuse again anywhere and to really repurpose to multiple platforms. I mean, I think that's kind of the future of where people are headed, like back when we started in 2014, the majority of our users were only on Facebook. There's still a lot of people on Facebook, but they've now expanded. Like even if they're
Mhm.
not posting as their business on TikTok yet, they're still logging into TikTok as a consumer and they're scrolling. And so all these platforms where everybody's audience is logging in multiple times a day, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, going back and forth, there's missed opportunity if you're not showing up there. So it's really easy if you can schedule it.
I love that. And I know sometimes people think, oh, I don't think I should repurpose content or I shouldn't use it again because somebody might see it twice. But I love that in this day and age, nobody's really paying attention that closely. Let's be real. Nobody is looking to be like, Jen, but you posted that on TikTok yesterday and now you posted it again, over here on Instagram. Or wait a minute, like you posted this here and now you're posting it there. Nobody is watching that closely. It does not matter at all. You can 100% recycle it. Because what do you say?
No.
2% of your content is being seen? Like, in all
Yeah.
likelihood, they didn't see it before. So give it that mileage. You put the hard work in creating that content.
Even if they did
Yeah.
see it again and they're like, wow, I've seen this 3 times now. That's when they're
Oh,
like, wait a minute. I've seen
right.
this 3 times now. I'm paying attention to this 3 times. Maybe I need this. So it's speaking to them. So you want people to see your posts multiple times. That would be the goal, right?
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so next big question. I feel like with any system, oftentimes what holds people back is actually getting started. And I mean, I've had many conversations where people are like, oh, yeah, I'm like paying for that thing, but I'm not really using it. Or like, I know that this would be really helpful for me, but I just haven't like quite jumped in and gotten started. So, what do you recommend for someone that, maybe has CinchShare or is starting a trial with CinchShare and wants to be proactive and actually use it because they know over the long haul, there's so many benefits for them. If they're new, where do you think they should begin?
So, as a new user, obviously the first thing you should do is download the CinchShare app so it's on your
Yep.
mobile phone, and then also install the CinchShare keyboard. So then you can use all the content that you shared. And then once you have those two things done, go into CinchShare and go to folders and start adding your content to a folder. Start
Mhm.
organizing your content. You can create as many folders as you want. You can create subfolders within folders. You can kind of organize to your heart's content, but start creating content and organizing it in folders. And if you want to, you can just go in and schedule a single post. You can go schedule it
Yeah.
to Facebook. You can schedule it, just to see the scheduling part work. A lot of people like to do that. Come in and just, you can also come in and check out the CinchShare library. We have over 30,000 pieces of content in our library now. So people can come in, search for engagement posts, find something that they want to share, and just test out the platform by scheduling it to their page, scheduling to Threads, scheduling to Instagram, scheduling anywhere.
Yeah.
And then I would see that post then goes to their history, so they have record of that. And then with folders, I mean, there's so much you can do. But in CinchShare, we have some new features where you can like add notes to a post, so you can
Okay.
label them, you can add instructions to them. So if you share content with anybody, like if you have a team or if you're a leader and you want to share a folder of content, you can do that really easily. And then now we also have in folders, you can, like if you have a shared folder, all of the members who have access to it, you can send them direct message to all the members. And so you can say, hey, I just added new content. And then everybody gets a notification on their mobile phone with a CinchShare notification. And then it pops up with the message and it sends them to the folder. So it's like direct access to all your content if you share content. And so it's really great for teams that way.
Okay, love that. So, a great place to begin would be just, yeah, getting the app, getting the keyboard going, getting your folders organized. And so you have some content there to post and then just start using it. Like, I love batching my content. That's one of my favorite things to do with CinchShare is just sit down and map out a week of content. Or if I'm really feeling like a go getter, maybe I'll map out a couple of weeks or a couple of months of content or every Monday for the next 6 weeks, right? So once you get in there and kind of get a feel for the app and scheduling, then you're off and running. And the beauty of that is that content is just going to land on those different social platforms and you're going to be doing something else. You might be taking a nap, you might be hanging out on the beach, you might be out on your boat, and content is dropping. So you really just have to remember to go back in and engage back with that content when people are interacting with it, right? So we want to make sure that as people are commenting, that you're going to have to do in real time. But the scheduling piece and getting ahead, I mean, it's such a good feeling not to have to wake up every day thinking, like, what am I going to go post on social today? Like, nobody wants to be doing that.
No, it's so nice when that's planned ahead. And then what happens is that, as long as you realize that you had content scheduled, you can go about living your life, doing everything. And then your time on the platform is really engaging back and forth. So rather than getting on the platform and being like, oh, I need to post and what should I do? And kind of wasting
Yeah.
time doing that, your posts have already gone. They've already getting comments, and so then you can start responding to people and interacting. So what it makes it even more valuable when you do plan ahead and schedule, because then every minute that you're spending on the platform is actively communicating with customers and potential customers versus getting on there and having it be like, you're having to do work, you're doing
Right.
something where it's like, no, now I'm actually using the platform to communicate. And then there, if you've got everything, if you've got the keyboard installed, when you have a comment that somebody has asked something, you can go in and answer right there in the comments with the keyboard and you can have all your content there. So it makes it really fast, like you said, to have those kind of quick responses and everything for communicating. And then you can easily log into multiple platforms and check on all your content with all the places that you've scheduled content and interact with people. So that's what we do. I schedule content throughout the day, and then like I'll get notifications on my phone when somebody's responded to our thread or commented on threads, and so I go over there and I pick up my phone and I actually respond right back really quickly. And then that quick interaction really helps your content get seen better and more often as well too. So it's like you get to give better engagement. You get to be a better engager when you have planned ahead because you're not sitting there worried about what to post. Because if you don't plan ahead and then you every day you're like, oh, what do I should I do? You kind of find yourself wasting time or getting lost in the scroll and stuff like that. And then you spend all your time doing that and then you don't feel like engaging anymore. Now you're like, oh, now I logged off and I'm going to go do something else anymore, and you didn't actually spend that time building those conversations. So you can use your time strategically if you plan ahead and then like I said, when you've got all that content on your keyboard, not only do you have that content in the scheduler so you can plan your posts, but then you also have it in your keyboard so you can do those quick responses.
I love it. Okay, so good. I want to ask you a little bit about trends that you're seeing on social because you're the master at this. And I know that you watch the algorithm, you watch engagement, you look at all the different kinds of posts and platforms and have kind of this bird's eye view of what's happening, not just on one platform, but really kind of across all of them. So, any trends that you're seeing that are really successful right now, or certain platforms that are getting a lot of traction, or types of posts that are getting more engagement than others? What are you seeing really working on social right now?
Gosh, let's see. For Facebook, what's working on Facebook is those color block posts.
Yeah.
So if you keep them really short and you ask a question and you just get people to comment. And so to do the color block on Facebook, they have to be again like less than 60 characters, I think.
Yeah, they're
So
short.
yeah, they're short. So for some reason, when you schedule them like through CinchShare, they don't show up as a color block. So what I do is in CinchShare, I create a whole bunch of color block posts and I actually have a reminder for a mobile reminder called color block. And then I
Okay.
schedule color blocks. So then I schedule one like twice a week to our page.
Yeah.
And I schedule it as a mobile reminder. When it pops up on my phone, I copy it, I go over to Facebook, and I just put it in the color block. And those ones seems to do pretty well on Facebook. That seems lately to be like, unfortunately, the only thing that seems to do very well on Facebook,
Right?
sadly.
I'm right there with
Yeah,
you. I'm like, keep doing the color block posts. I've been telling
yeah,
people that a lot. I'm like, those ones are still working, still working. We're
yeah.
gonna stick with that. And that's pretty much it.
Which is kind of great because then you don't need to go to Canva. You don't need to create
Yeah,
graphics. You don't need to do all this
so
stuff first.
simple.
You can actually just go say something, but then you just can't say a whole lot because they're really short. They're really meant to be kind of engagement seekers for your page and then you
Yeah.
post in between. But what we've really seen in the past year is Meta specifically. Meta has Facebook, Instagram, and Threads.
Hmm.
And it seemed like last year, around the time that they stopped allowing third parties to post into groups,
Yeah.
they it's almost like they just did something to groups, I don't know, altogether, because group activity has just been on the decline since then. And it's almost like Meta has abandoned Facebook. Like it's just a bunch of bots. It's a bunch of spam accounts on there now. And it's literally no reach for people who have built big followings and groups and stuff like that. So it's really kind of disheartening. But as a whole, I think Meta has definitely been giving a lot of emphasis over to Threads, which is their new
Yeah.
platform. And so we've been spending more time there. We've been spending a lot of time kind of trying new things, posting different types of things, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work, and seeing who's there. And what's interesting about Threads is that, again, Meta is putting emphasis there. They're adding new features there all the time. And so it's almost like where they're trying to direct their
Yeah.
traffic. Like they're wanting their next people to go over to Threads. And what's really cool about Threads is that it's very Facebook-like in the
Uh-huh.
fact that you can post just text. You can post just a message. Like it doesn't have to have a graphic. You can ask a question and you can get people to have conversations. And so it's really easy to show up there, unlike TikTok or Instagram, where you have to create a visual first before you can
Hmm.
even say something over on those platforms. You before you can post on
Right.
Instagram, you have to have a graphic or you have to have a video. So it makes it a little harder to show up there. And so Threads, I think, is like a great next step for
Yeah.
Facebook people, people who love Facebook and have been on Facebook forever, but maybe are looking to get outside of Facebook. I think Threads is like the next one. It's kind of like the trainer wheels. Like it's the next one you can do.
Yeah.
And then I think that obviously vertical video is just on the rise. People love it. So, posting those on Instagram, if you can post those even on, you can do the reels on your Facebook too. And they actually do get better views than just regular posts. Like if you post a graphic, you're only going to get so many people see it. But if you post a reel, you're going to get even more. And then again, if you take that and you post that same vertical video content over on YouTube or TikTok, then you get even more views. So I think the vertical video content, is
Yeah.
definitely huge. But there's text-based photos and carousels or multi-photos. Those are all still very good on the platforms, but we've definitely seen a shift in movement towards people joining threads, people wanting to post more there, even show up in other places again. But I think threads is just like the simplest, like easy way for at least a lot of direct sellers and social sellers to kind of go into. And so
Yeah.
that kind of, it's kind of like the trend that we're seeing is maybe, and hopefully maybe we might see a little bit more is see some more movement of people who are just, honestly just tired of the crickets and posting to the same five
Yeah.
people. And it's frustrating. It's one thing when it's for like a couple months, but when it's like almost a year of that, there are
Yeah.
a lot of businesses that are unfortunately going under. There's a lot of people who are really struggling, and it could really be helped simply by showing up on another platform, not just putting all your eggs in the Facebook basket.
Yes, preach it. Yes, so good. I mean, and I'm excited about threads. I have not dabbled a whole lot in threads, so I'm excited to try that out a little bit more and expand our presence there, especially after this conversation. But yeah, totally with you. The vertical video, still very, very hot. And I think really just diversifying and showing up in other places and experimenting. Like, I think just taking that mindset of it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to know everything. I'm just going to take what I know and I'm going to go put it in other places and see what happens. And
Yeah.
again, if you have a tool like CinchShare at your fingertips, like it makes it so, so, so easy. You don't really have to go learn all the ins and outs of a new platform or create content separately for each of those platforms. You can really leverage what you've already done in one place and just go put it out on other places and see where people are interacting with you, where you're getting engagement. I think sometimes when we experiment, it can kind of surprise us like, oh, wait, like there's people over here and they're interested in what I have to say.
Yeah.
And having a little bit of organic reach beyond Facebook, which seems like everything is just on the decline, is pretty exciting too.
Yeah, and I think that one thing people can remember is that, they might think, oh, I can't be on multiple platforms because it's hard for me to engage in all these places. But in reality, if your engagement isn't very high in Facebook, then you've got nothing to lose. You can certainly post. And like
Yeah.
for YouTube, for example, like we've been posting our TikToks and our Reels, and we just kind of been repurposing them and putting them over on YouTube. But
Yeah.
I don't personally log into YouTube and interact unless we specifically get comments or questions. And so those are kind of almost like set it and forget it. But what's great about them is that we're still getting views and we're still getting our content out there. And then we're also just playing and, like you said, experimenting and
Yeah.
learning the platforms a little bit. I mean, you're not going to be an expert at something and you don't have to spend all your time there, but you can still push over your content.
Yeah.
And then that way you've got your content out there and it's kind of working for you. And then where you do spend your time engaging, I mean, that's really kind of what one of the biggest trends I've seen as we grow, and it's been big on threads and Instagram too, is that the more you engage with other
Mhm.
people's content, the more your content's going to be seen. And so what I do is I go and I schedule a whole bunch of threads to post all week on threads. And then when I log on during the week, I'm just going and commenting on other people's stuff and I'm
Engaging.
engaging and then that brings views. And so it's like it's being social. The platforms are stressing that they want you to be social. And you can do that. You can absolutely do that when you plan ahead and you schedule your content. And then that way you're just, like I said, you're spending your time actively on the platform being social and engaging and having those conversations, while all of your content works for you in the background.
I love that. I love that. Oh, goals, goals. That's the strategy right there. I love it. Well, as we're wrapping up, I always ask what your favorite office supply is. And then, of course, we'll talk about how to get started with CinchShare too.
Okay, let's see. Office supplies. I would just honestly have to say my phone. Is that an office supply? My
Well,
mobile
we'll
phone.
allow it. We'll allow it.
Okay. So here's the thing is that I almost do 99% of everything on my phone. Like I
I love
log
that.
into a computer like once a week, if that. Like I'm never sitting at my computer. I do everything on my mobile. And so I'm like, if
Yeah.
I had to get out a pen and paper, I don't think I could find that in my house. I really don't. We're like
That's
such a
amazing.
digital family.
That's amazing. I love it. Okay, your phone. We'll take it. We'll take it. Obviously, favorite app is
Okay.
CinchShare.
Okay.
And I mean, you guys have incredible training. You're always giving to your community, like having all of those images that are preloaded, that are there waiting for people in the library. And you also have a really generous trial period too, which is unusual for a lot of apps. So tell us a little bit about how they can get started and how they can even just kind of test out CinchShare and see how it can help them before officially committing and being all in.
Yeah, so essentially right now we have a 60-day free trial. So for 2 months, you can get in, use the app, use the library, schedule content, use the keyboard, do everything that you want to do for 2 months and try it out. So it's a really good long time to kind of get in there and see if you actually use it. It's Keyboard 60 is the promo code, and you use that at cinchshare.com. So when you go to our website on the computer, you can enter in that promo code, and that'll give you two months free. And then you can jump right in, create content, schedule
Awesome.
content, save and organize, share content, and then have it also available on your keyboard.
So good. Oh, Jen, amazing. Okay, so a 2-month trial. Amazing. So, so generous. I know inside our Modern Direct Seller Academy, all of our social selling action plans, our 365 social schedule, like all of that is all preloaded to CinchShare. So it's right there waiting for you. So even if you are getting started and you don't have folders established yet, you have all of the library with the 30,000 images provided by CinchShare. You'll also have access to a lot of the content that we've created inside the Academy as well. Jen, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing all of your expertise with us. I think the world of you. I'm just going to fly out to Florida and come stay at your house and hang out with you all the time so we can have conversations like this on the regular, hang out on your new boat.
I hope you do. I hope you do.
So good. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast. Thank you for sharing this with our audience. I'm really excited. We're doing a little bit of a systems reboot for our Academy members happening mid-April, and CinchShare is definitely one of the systems that we're talking about. So if you're trying to get things set up and you need a little bit of a helping hand, you can definitely come hang out with us and participate in that week-long event that we have going on. So thanks again, Jen. I think you're amazing. Have a great day today.
Thanks so much, Becky. Happy to be here.
This episode is sponsored by CinchShare. CinchShare is the #1 social media scheduler for direct sellers and loved by creators in any industry. It's truly your one-stop shop for all things social. Join hundreds of thousands of social sellers and entrepreneurs who turn to CinchShare for free social media training and resources. Get started today with your free 30-day trial at moderndirectseller.com/CinchShare.